Hey Aries, welcome to Pisces season. Happy early birthday to those of you with late March B days. We're using the Threads of Fate Shadow Edition, just like last month. If you're new here, I'm Tamil. I'm the founder of Overflow, and every month I channel oracle guidance for the collective and the Overflow community at large, which is you. Then we go deeper inside of the sanctuary, which is our private membership space for communion with yourself and soul family. If you are interested in joining that space, you can join the waitlist in the bio. We'll be opening up enrollment for the Spring Equinox. Your strength for the month is literally strength. How beautiful is that? And the message that I'm getting is that it feels like whatever this full moon in Virgo on the 27th of February activates for the month ahead, deepens your connection to the earth, but also to your sense of self and your spirituality, allowing you to radiate and shine more in your essence, in your unique essence. Look at your challenge. The Underworld and Reclaim. So, bottom of the deck is Dare to Dream. Shadow work is your challenge for March for Pisces season, Aries, but it's not just like your challenge, it's an assignment so that you can deepen your connection to the earth. Potentially, this is healing of ancestral, healing of your ancestors, but potentially also your past lives or aspects of previous lifetimes, so that you can do this reclamation of your spiritual identity, your spiritual inheritance. But part of it, or the majority of it, isn't as esoteric. It really is about having confidence to live and taking back what there may have been a grip or a grasp on in other lifetimes. I usually don't talk about stuff like this in these messages, but it is what it is, and it's Pisces season, so it's just facts. And so whatever that is, unbinding of curses, forgiveness of some things that have happened that's being revealed to you in the dream state or in meditation or in your Akashic records, and using the spiritual technologies at your disposal or with the help of a healer to free you from whatever it is that's presenting, because if it's presenting, it's safe and it's ready to be addressed. Okay, so let's read from the book. Strength, Aries. This card indicates a time where you need to tap into your reserve of strength and resilience. There may be things coming up in your life right now that require your courage and the willingness to be uncomfortable. Our ability to adjust to any transition, loss, or change will depend on our patience in writing out the storm. Sometimes we have to do this without a map. Whatever is coming up for you right now, understand that it will pass, and you just need to believe that you can move through it. The orca, this is the animal medicine for this card, is also known as the, quote, killer whale for its hunting ferocity, but is simultaneously thought of as a gentle giant. They live in the same pod for their entire life, and they rely on another to hunt and protect the pod. In this way, Orca shows us that we are not alone. It encourages you to hold counsel and call on community as you navigate the rough waters. So when I talk about the fact that you may need to call on a healer or be in community to address these things safely, that is or with people who have like a shared path as you, whether that's like a path of a healer, a path of a priestess, or some shared ancestral lineage, to get some information about what's coming up in the dream state so that you can heal and integrate. Yeah, we're also reading Undrowned. by Alexis Pauline Gumbs in the Sanctuary. I believe that's what it's, yes. Alexis Pauline Gumbs in the Sanctuary, and it is Black Feminist Lessons from marine mammals. And so the orca here, I'm excited to see how that's gonna play out in our reading circle as well. Okay. The crystal medicine that I'll give you as well, it says labradorite. I'll never say that right, but I know it's helpful for the dream state. And it's a stone that can open up our psychic and intuitive abilities while also strengthening our will and protecting our personal energies. It is helpful when we are working through challenges and need to protect ourselves from getting drained or taking on things that are not ours. It is also a teacher of paradox. When we feel the weakest, it is a reminder that at the opposite end of the spectrum is our power. While it may feel like polar opposites, they exist within the same continuum, and you can transit between them. Use labradorite as a teacher of self-preservation to help you see the strengths in your perceived weaknesses. And that's literally what this shadow work is. It's like going into something that you know is going to be difficult, not needing to have all of the answers, but just needing to have the courage to see what's being presented to you without fear, and also being able to protect from the things that aren't yours, because it could belong to an ancestor, it could belong to a past life aspect, and it's not necessarily yours to transmute, it's just yours to bear witness to so that you can be lighter on this path. Okay. All right, let's look at the underworld. If the Underworld card comes to you, it is either an invitation to go within yourself, or it serves as an acknowledgement of where you currently are. If you do not sense you are in the Underworld, then this card is asking you to pause and allow the things that need to fall away to do so. If you are in the Underworld at the moment, it can often feel like it is a trial, like it is trial after trial, loss after loss. It may also feel empty and uncomfortable. The Underworld is where we die and are reborn. It holds the fire of transformation. That Reclaim card is definitely giving that Two of Wands fire vibe. So many people resist being in the Underworld or try to rush the journey, but this card is asking you to settle into it and surrender. Give yourself permission to the best of your ability. Give yourself permission to be in this in-between space and welcome the changes to the best of your ability. My retrograde shadow is messing with me. While we are in the Underworld, we need to allow ourselves to be there without anticipating the rebirth. We must just simply be there. And yes, that is how you are present to what it is that needs to come up, versus like calculating for how you'll be once you get past this, because you really aren't able to know fully because you haven't experienced the wisdom of what's being taught, and it could be something completely different than what you assumed was the message or the lesson. I'm just looking for Reclaim now. It's not in any order, but I'm pretty sure this is a fire card, so let me, yep. You were born as a perfectly imperfect human with gifts, talents, medicine, wisdom, and knowing. Growing up in a culture that does not nurture these gifts creates misalignment with our highest truth. Reclamation can be a lifetime process, as it is continually awakening to ancient medicine we knew about in other lifetimes and soul wisdom. While there is no rule book or map for this journey, this card calls your attention to what stirs deep inside your soul memory. We are often drawn to places, people, experiences, music, etc. that we know on a cellular level, but our logical mind may not understand why. This card asks you to follow your intuition, trust that desire and follow it. Reclaim your knowing, your power, your medicine, and your healing. Enjoy the mysteries and stories unfolding. Okay. All right, Aries. Blessings on blessings on blessings. You got this. In the practical sense, but it's Pisces season, so we're not going to really just be getting no like basic messages. But in the practical sense, there are parts of you that have been forgotten or pushed aside because potentially you were shamed, whether that was in childhood or whether you feel like you failed, you've let people down, or your expectations of yourself. And so your desire, while you're seeing it, the match desire to actually take the risk isn't enough. Like the motivation is there, like you see the possibility, but you just are afraid to take that risk because you have been in that underworld state of like feeling like you're just in this suffering where like there's no hope or there's no possibility for your overcoming. And so this season, as we transition into your birthday season, is preparing you to transmute that last bit of stagnation and that staleness and that like gunk around and the cloudiness in your mind that's keeping you away from the next chapter of your life. And so be gentle with yourself, but get ready because it's almost time to like make some moves. Okay.